What's going on, everybody? I am Bird Dog John. Thanks for joining us today, and we are going to kick things off here. It is 1 a.m. in Melbourne right now, and that is exactly where I am. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Robbie to the show. What's going on, man? All right, let's see. Hey, what's going on, Judson?
Hey, thanks for having me.
I do much more. We are joined with Bird Dog Ian, who is at the Capture Summit over in Atlanta. So how's it going, man?
Hot and sweaty.
That's the most important question that our team can ask. Why are you needing this camera?
Now, I haven't tested this thing since it got here. This is something that I'm really excited that NDI did. That's cool. Obviously, there are lots of flavors here, but this is the 4250 line. And our little friend here. Say hello to my little friend. It's brewing in the back of my throat. Based on the recommendation of Senseless, we're going to give a Java Monster a try.
Oh, yeah, Pocky,
We
dude.
got a little Pocky, and I have been putting this off for an age.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
There is a Snacks on Stream mystery box brought to you by my Snacks on Stream manager, Brayton. What's going on, Bugsy?
There you go. What's going on?
Bali, good to see you, man. What's going on, NetHab? Hey, what's going on, Judson? And hey, Kevin, good to see you, man. What's going on, Jeremy? How are you? Thanks for jumping on. Oh, it's all good. What's happening, everybody? I indeed am Bird Dog John, and I need to probably check my feed, right, to make sure that you can hear me. Hey-oh, so it's all there. This is a much different venue. I am back in my home studio where this all began many moons ago, but I can see and hear it on the YouTubes, and so hopefully that's good stuff. Now, this is not a Bird Dog camera. Spoiler alert, this is my home office, and I don't have work cameras in my home anymore. When I moved to the Auburn Hills office, I changed all of that over and took all that gear to the office, and so here I am at home on my DSLR. So I do a little bit of photography. I'm by no means a professional, but I do a little bit of photography on trips and on, places that I end up. So I take a nice camera. This is a Canon RP mirrorless camera, and so it works really well, and it's got a 50mm lens on it, which gives me that nice little like blown out background without any need for special effects. So pretty good stuff. But hey, thank you for kind of sticking around. I guess lots going on. I can explain. But yes, has been a lot going on. Left audio is good. Right audio is low. This is a mono audio situation. So let's find out. Let me look at my settings real quick and see. Maybe I'll turn this off. Okay, let me know if that changes things at all, because there was this. It should be a mono, but maybe it was sending stereo. So let me know if that changes anything. And Sean, how's it going? Thanks for sticking around. Always appreciate that. Happy to have you hanging out here on the show. Just the few of us this time. I missed the window. So here's the story. Here's what happened. The past couple of days, we've been having issues with our internet through Comcast. And we had some problems when... oh, that did it. Okay, cool. So we had some problems just like connecting and whatever. Well, yesterday I did a remote session, and that was kind of rough. Like, it took a really long time. And then today, this morning, I had a 9 a.m. remote session, and yikes, man, the internet on our side was not having it. So I finished that session around 11, and not due to any specific. Oh, that reminds me, I got to write that down. Anyways, not due to a couple of things going on. They had an issue with an A200, but also my internet problems and whatever. So it took a couple hours to get through that remote session. Honestly, it's kind of par for the course with these sort of like higher level support issues that we've been having, where camera MICUs are like defaulting to none or not updating. It takes a couple of hours to really hash out everything, try everything. And thankfully, the guys down in Texas were gracious enough to hang on the line and let me kind of fumble through it as I did, which is what today's title is. So that ended like right at like 11 or 11:05. And of course, I'm getting messages from people like, hey, what's going on? Everything all right? So I jump into StreamYard. I sit down at the vMix machine. I didn't have a keyboard and mouse because I haven't ordered one yet. So I was like, blast. So I went and got that, came back, fired it all up, opened up StreamYard, typed in the title, hit go, and nothing worked. So I waited for it to maybe catch up. I tried to refresh some sites, thinking that this is a local issue. Didn't know that this was a Comcast issue. But come to find out, so the show obviously didn't go off at 11 o'clock or 11:30. And so I basically stopped and started troubleshooting the network because I figured, all right, this is something's going on here. And then the building manager came up, the building owner came up to the office and said, everyone's having internet problems. And it seems to be a whole building-wide thing. So then I messaged my wife and said, hey, I'm headed over to Starbucks to basically update everybody on the stream and let you know what happened. And then I'm going to work out of Starbucks for the afternoon until I got to pick up my son. She said, well, there's no internet at the school over here either. And she's 15 minutes from my office in the same town in Auburn Hills. So that's a clear indication that even at Starbucks, they may not have internet in Auburn Hills. So, and that Starbucks is close to her school. So I was like, nuts to that. I'll head home. I will jump on for 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes, and try and do a bit of a show. But I have another remote session that I need to be on at 2 o'clock here. And so I need to actually do some work. I haven't really gotten around to doing anything because I've only had one remote session that took 2 hours. I was troubleshooting the network, and then I ran out of the office and changed my plan on the road to come back to this studio, which means that I have the ability to be on camera and I have a real microphone. And hey, this is StreamYard, so we can totally make this work. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run this show and be around at least for 30 minutes, even though it's super late, and give you guys a little bit of FaceTime here on Thursday afternoon. So this is the original office. This is the original Bird Dog support office that I'm standing in, which is, and I am standing. I have a standing desk in this office that I bought when I was sitting in here for 10 hours a day because that was getting rough. So I bought a standing desk. Well, it's still here. I mean, the whole rig is basically still here other than the NDI network and the NDI devices. But I use this for my home office work now, and then also for remoting into other projects that I have ongoing. So It's all attached. Okay, so there's nothing in the chat yet, so I'm just going to keep going. The quick studio tour. I don't have a PTZ in here, so I can't really like steer you around other than physically moving the DSLR. But I have a standing desk. This is an autonomous desk, and I have actually one of the original boom arms that I had on the show. I bought this boom arm stand before I left this office, and we've been out of here for 3 years. So, man, that seems like a crazy time. But our contract is renewing at the end of this year, which means that we're coming up on 3 years since I worked out of this room. And when I worked here, I ended up changing my desktop tower into a 3U server rack style PC chassis. And now I have a half network chassis, which of course is loaded and I need more space. But I have a half network chassis sitting here on the floor next to my desk. And then that's where my computer is housed. I have a single patch panel in there for bringing in my connections. And then I have a small, like 8-port Netgear switch, managed, mind you, to handle the actual network up here. But the network itself is actually meshed together with a Google Home device, which is downstairs because, of course, in the 90s, they didn't run any cabling through the home to do Ethernet. So I have to do this over Wi-Fi, which is what this is. Now, allegedly, this is going up to the YouTubes in 1080p. Let me verify that. Right now I'm on auto. If I go to highest picture quality, nope, it shows 720 for some reason. And maybe that's all I'm sending StreamYard from this camera, potentially. I don't know. But we could try and find out. I'm using the EOS utility, and I'm pretty sure if I launch that utility, it's going to kill this feed. So one of the benefits of actually using the Canon RP, so I used to have a Canon T2i a long time ago, bought that like 10 years ago, and now I have this RP. One of the things I wanted for it though was that you could plug a USB cable into it and use it as a webcam, which means that then you have that like nice DSLR mirrorless image, and then you can get a shallow 50mm lens, and then it gives you this like, quite a nice view. But if the other nice thing about this is a RP lens. Okay, so they have EF lenses and then they have R lenses. No, M mounts. It's an M mount. So I have an M lens on this, which is a native lens for this body, which means that it is fast to adjust. And so when I move in and out, the actual autofocus on the video mode of this camera follows me. And of course, I have a teleprompter in here. And so a small one, not an NDI one like I have at the office, but I have a small teleprompter in here with a small screen. And so I can look into the lens and I can see then where the autofocus is. So it follows my face on this camera, which is super nice. So my screens are down here. I have 3 screens across, this installation, but then my camera sits up on top, and then I have my Apex microphone that does that. So all good. So that's the change of venue today. I'm in my home office. I primarily use this to play games with my kids now and take Teams meetings at 8 and 9 o'clock at night when the Australians wake up. So that is what I am up to over here. Okay, let me jump into the chat and see what's going on, see if anybody else has come along. Thanks for those of you who are watching. Always appreciate it, even though it's late in the day. Maybe we'll get like a different demographic of viewer. Oh, and that reminds me, I don't know if this QR code works for my web form. It might. I might. Let's see if it will show it. Okay, I'm going to have to put it on the screen. So this form is current. Whoa, what is that? That's ridiculously large. Okay, so that's probably not going to work. But I could do this one. Ooh, maybe this will do it. All right, this opens a web form, I believe, but it should be off, if I'm not mistaken. This is the where are you from web form, yeah. So indicates questions that need answering. Where are you from? Google Forms. It is on. Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. Don't scan it yet. don't scan it yet because what is today? Today. So yeah, don't scan it yet because I got to delete last week's entries. And it looks like there were, oh, okay, well, I can see who has already commented. There are 2 from today. So I'm going to delete those rows. And then 3 of those will show, which means that now I can share this screen. Let's go function F11. And this is so weird not doing this in vMix. Where are you from? Here we go. So now you guys can see this, I hope. And hey, there are the 3 people that checked in. So thanks, everybody. That is pretty cool. I'll leave that up there for now. Does the BirdDog converter have does BirdDog have a converter that does bidirectional NDI conversion, encode and decode at the same time? No. We do not have an encode decode at the same time. You can put them in encode mode or decode mode, but we don't have one that does it simultaneously. There's 1080p on YouTube. Fantastic. The big one works. I just scanned from Auburn. There you go. Yes, that one's still there. Ooh, there's a whole bunch of you checking in. That's cool. Hi, are you taking support questions? Always. That is the point of this show, but I'm extremely late, and so that's the reason why I am doing a bit of a catch-up game, because I don't have too long. I've at least got 20 more minutes, though, so feel free to throw your support question into the chat, and we can see what we can do about that. And also, I'm assuming you might have a ticket number, so that would also be good. If there's any history or anything like that, I can look that up on my 3rd monitor. So, so good stuff. Good stuff. All right, what's going on? Dan Coley from Birmingham, UK. Awesome. Good stuff. Appreciate you guys checking in. I see that UK. There it is right there, Birmingham, UK. So good stuff. Yeah, scan that little QR code. It will take you to a 2-question form that will basically say, what country are you in and what city are you closest to? And if you fill out those 2 questions and hit submit, your pin will appear here on the screen. So hopefully that works for you. Let me know if you have any problems with that. I will also mention that the subscriber count is up another 4 in the last 48 hours, which is crazy to me. The rate of growth is going really fast, which is way faster than it's ever gone. So a couple of subscribers every day is like record. So it's pretty awesome. Yeah, great stuff. Ticket 37371, sound is robotic on a quad. It's a 48,000 hertz coming from platform is clean and NDI monitor. What platform are you coming? What are you talking about? And is the quad, I'm sorry, what platform are you outputting it from with NDI? And the quad, I'm assuming, is in decode 37371. Let's see what I can come up with here. 37371. So what's the source? Because if it's bringing in ISO feeds from Zoom. Ugh, okay. Sound is robotic. Zoom ISO says BirdDog decoders are incompatible with 32 kilobit, correct? Which seems to be the default. So I changed it to 48, but there's no change. I've verified that the feeds are clean. Have you verified, though, that it changed? Actually, the bit rate is changed, because if it doesn't change it at all in the decode, 48 is correct. That's actually NDI standard, not BirdDog standard. But 48 kilohertz is correct. Did you verify that it was actually 48 kilohertz? That's the thing. Zoom ISO, yeah. I'm confused why I have to manually enter this information when I was required to register my quad before submitting the ticket. This is needlessly redundant. You're not required. If you say that it's a quad and you tell us what firmware it's on, then there's no need to re-enter that. That just says, please make sure that you hit reply and provide us with the following information. Mostly if you didn't do that. So most people don't, but I can move this over to let's update this ticket and get it kind of moving in the right direction. You said it's a quad. You're running 197 LTS. Your resolution, that's not listed. Got a problem here. Okay, so it's audio related. The MICU version is only, by the way, so on the auto reply, the MICU version is only for like cameras, that when we have two different boards involved. But the 4K family is just a firmware version, so that's good. You put that in here already. Let me see what else we've got. Haven't confirmed the audio sample rate yet. Yeah, okay, that's going to be really important. The robotic. I also actually have never tested Zoom ISO NDI. Quite frankly, I was unaware that they were doing that. Is that the new feature they just launched like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago? I know that they had given a Zoomtopia update and said something about NDI, but then I went looking for it because I actually have a guy that's got good friends at Zoom who work higher up in Zoom, and so he's like, pay attention, there might be something NDI related. And then I looked and didn't see anything at Zoomtopia about NDI out of Zoom. And I thought, well, that's weird because I thought they were hyping it up to make that announcement. So a year or so. Okay, yeah, so I don't know. I'll have to test it, I guess, because I'm unaware of Zoom doing NDI and us testing it as to decode it. I know that we've worked with Zoom to do like encode, like the UVC cameras, for example. So the P100 series with the USB port on the back, they wanted to integrate those into like Zoom rooms, and we've worked pretty closely with them to do that. But the audio side of NDI, I have not heard of them working with us directly. They would be correct though in saying that BirdDog decoders are incompatible with 32 kilohertz, but that's NDI period. That's not, that's not exclusive to BirdDog. So anything NDI will require it to be 48, which is other than Studio Monitor, mind you. But I find that odd that they would default to 32. That doesn't seem right on their NDI output, unless they're just trying to save like bandwidth or something. But I don't know specifically what the deal is there. Dan says, hey, we got our plays updated to 30. Major improvement. Hey, well done, BirdDog team. Love the ability to have a custom splash screen. You are not the only one on this show to have said that recently. Yeah, we definitely have had a lot of feedback about that. And that's great because that was a feature that we did specifically for somebody. But we knew that it would have that kind of like ramification of everybody's going to want that. What's beautiful about this, and I said this on Tuesday, when customers walk into your facility and it's showing your logo, they think that's cool. That's their logo, or they think, oh, that's signage. But when you walk by it, you don't. It's like an error code for you, right? Like something's wrong with this play. It's not playing the NDI feed it's supposed to, so it's on the screensaver. But you can see that there's an issue going on, but your customers don't know that there's an issue going on. So when it comes to signage, people walk in and it's not like abrasive. It's just like, oh, that's the logo. And then they move on. Whereas you walk in and say, oh, the logo's up. I wonder what's going on with that play. And then you can troubleshoot it while it's showing the logo. So well done, engineers, about thinking about the entire process of how this product is implemented and used. Giving the option to have that splash screen, like screensaver with your own, choice of background, I think is a big step in the right direction. Just in terms of like thinking about AV installation in general, I think it's a good move. So I'm glad that you like that for sure. All right. Well, your ticket has been assigned to somebody. And so they will be sure to look into that, but definitely double check that rating, that audio sample rate, because that will be critical. Number one is if that's not the case, that if that's not functioning correctly, then that's going to be a problem. So good stuff. Um, interesting. Interesting. That was my email making that sound. Means I have my email open. So we will make this screen like that and take my email off of that tab. Let's see what's going on in the interwebs while I'm here. Hey, we've identified an outage that's affecting your service. Yeah, really? We knew this yesterday. Get the details. If you have any question, contact us 24/7. Yeah, I did contact you, Comcast, and you put me into an automated loop that basically said, we're aware of an outage. It should be on later. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for nothing. Now I'm doing business in my home office. Thankfully, I have this luxury, by the way. Here's the thing about this Canon camera is I don't have the ability to, well, I guess I do, but it's a lot different trying to set the manual settings for this camera. So like when I move away, the room gets a lot brighter. And then when I move closer, the room gets a lot darker. And it's obviously just the exposure and it's on auto in some regards. So it's trying to balance it. But yeah, then there's these massive shadows on one side of my face. So, okay, thank you. Hey, you're very welcome, Landho Films. Thank you for coming by. Always a pleasure. Happy to have you guys on the show. All right, Comcast, well, just let me know when it's back up, will you? All right, what else do I have here? We're going to... Oh, wow. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. The field. Okay. All right. That's fine. Yeah, so my phone service at the office is like going off the rails because our external IP address keeps changing. And so they send me an email every time it changes because it has to be set to dynamic. But yeah, it's brutal. Is it possible to hide the on-screen IP address on the plays? Makes the plays a really useful signage tool. I thought there was. I could be tempted to try and remote into the systems at work because that's where all that stuff is, but Chrome remote, but let's see if any of those items are even checking in online because they may all be offline. Oh, they're all offline, so no. They all went offline at 11:18. That's awesome. I love that. Oh no, this computer went offline at 11:38. How? Well, this will be a good indicator that those computers are online again because I'll be able to remote into them. So no, I have no way of double checking and verifying this as of right now. You know what though? Let me go over to the engineering folder. See, this is why you come to the show because I have a few resources. Try and use them. So if I go over to here and go to this option, and we look up, I'm just going to remove this for a moment. And I look up the IP address option. Features, full pod auto, because you're right, it shouldn't show the IP address. All right, let's go here instead. Bird Dog TV. Everything else is working. It's so nice to have fast internet while you work. You don't realize how much you take that for granted when it's not working, but when it is working. But when it's not working, you definitely notice how slow everything is. So OSD settings under the AV startup. I don't know if that's what that is. It might be AV setup OSD settings. Let me just see what that is because AV device OSD, you can choose to disable the on-screen display to help avoid changes by unauthorized. Note, the on-screen display is disabled when operating the CEC menu. So the OSD is disabled when operating the CEC menu. Okay, so that might be it. Dan, if you turn off the OSD option on the AV setup screen, that might turn off you may need to restart the device to get it to happen too. So make that change, hit apply, go to the dashboard, at least reboot or at least restart video, if not reboot device, and see if it takes the IP address off the screen. Because you're right, then it would be a great little signage tool if it didn't. But it says right here in the manual, so I have to take it for what it's worth. You can choose to disable the on-screen display to help avoid setting changes by unauthorized persons. So I'm assuming they mean the IP address. They might also mean, though, somebody coming up with a universal remote and clicking through the CEC menu. I don't know. That might be the case. It might not. I'm not totally sure. Not totally sure. Okay. I am going to go over to the YouTubes. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to birddogjohn.tv. It's a huge help. Seriously, it really helps a lot when people do that, and so appreciate it greatly that you have done that. Let me go back here and start this live stream again. Okay, that looks a little better. Let me listen to it. It looks pretty good for like a home office, right? It doesn't look too bad. Now, this big giant machine that's behind me, I actually have a Concept 2 rowing machine, which I really love to use. It's great. So that is what that exercise machine is. And there's nowhere else in the house to really put it that's convenient. So it's here in my office, and that is what I'm using it for. So cool. I'll check. If not, it's a feature request. Cheers. Yeah. Let me know. I mean, I can test it tomorrow when I'm back in the office. Let me know regardless what happens there. Sorry, just a little housekeeping. I'm just going to put on here that we are out of the office there. Just because I don't want people to be emailing us and wondering why it's taking so long to do that. So, Sean, did you just submit a question into the help desk about what is this? This is a 4K SDI. I'm assuming that's you. But I can maybe try and help here. If I change this, yoink. You are running on 129. SDI 129? 129 or 192? Because 129 I don't think exists. So I think you meant 192. And your question is specifically about, I can't get the 4K SDI to decode at 1080p 5994. Okay, well the key here is to verify that the actual stream is running in 4K, is running in 1080p 5994. So what you do is change that to auto on the decoder and then link the source from, whatever the encode is to that unit. And when that unit is in auto mode, it will tell you what that resolution actually is. So you say, it's not me. It could be Aaron. Oh, weird. Oh, and here I am. No, is there an... Okay, well, anyways. So there's another customer that has a question about a decoder, and he's just saying the unit won't decode 1080p 5994. Typically what happens there is if your decoder is not decoding the correct resolution, put it in auto and find out what the resolution actually is, and then you'll need to change your source. So the decoder is not a scaler, it's just a decoder. It's just going to decode whatever it's sent, but it doesn't scale. So the manual option, which I actually think is kind of pointless, the manual option on those devices rejects all other resolutions. It doesn't scale it to that resolution. So that's probably what's going on here. I changed in the drop-down video format and refresh, reboot, no change. Needed to change my A300 camera for the decoder to find it. Interesting. So this is 1080. Sorry, so I just answered like a random ticketing question. And classification is problem. Let's see, will that get assigned? We will assign it to the support team. Good times. Oh, wait. We will assign it to the agent round robin. That's what we're going to do. Fun. Okay, cool. So, anyways, yes. It was a different Sean, apparently. Do. And then let's just do this. And like this. Yoink. Yoink. Sorry, just doing a little housekeeping while I'm here. So the whole morning, I haven't really gotten to do very much of that. Hey, I'm just popping in to say hi. Might be back this coming Thursday. Super busy. Yes, we all are. It's great to see you, Angus. Thanks for jumping on today. Always a pleasure to see you. Yeah, we'll definitely need to catch up. Maybe we'll see you in a week. Hopefully my internet woes will be over and I won't be doing this from home. But that is what I'm doing. Hopefully it sounds all right. I was listening on my phone. This microphone is very different than obviously the ones that I have, but I always willing to take feedback, by the way. Very different than obviously. It seems to be good though. And this was my original mic for this show. My father actually gave me this microphone for recording like instruments, and it's quite good. So I've been very happy with it so far. And it's good for Teams and Zoom and apparently running this show as well. So that's always nice. Okay. Let's just see if there's anything else outstanding that we need to touch base on. I don't think so. I know that there's a bunch of stuff kind of ongoing that, remote sessions and a whole bunch of things that are happening. But yes, thanks for your help. Perfect. Okay, cool. So like I said, though, I haven't really had a chance to like do anything other than that one remote session, which was on a phone call, which was breaking up because our internet was dying, and trying to get ready for the show and then getting out of there. So yesterday we did a really cool remote session for a guy that was just doing like keyboards and had a keyboard in 5 P200s. And so we got him on we got him on the latest firmware, and then we got his keyboard talking over NDI. But he's running the installers gave him a static network, and then they didn't set him up with a discovery server or anything, and so signals kept dropping. He was getting intermittent problems. He's having problems with Zoom, whole bunch of things. And so I definitely worked with him to getting it kind of all working well together. And then he was like, could you summarize everything that we did so that I can relay this to like the people that need to know? So I did that as well. Gave him a big long list of everything that we changed, everything that we did, and how to make it redundant. So when he restarts the computer, for example, Discovery Server starts up and all that jazz. So that was great. And he is up and running. So he just sent me a kind of a thank you note, but also that he's going to send it over to his team so they're aware of what's happening. Yeah, so that was really good. a really like productive session that I like. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is a rare thing where, so my wife works half days most days, and she is home. She got home while the show had been started, and so I had made coffee before the show started, thinking I'm going to make coffee when I'm at home. Put on a pot of coffee, came upstairs, tried to get all this stuff going. Was having some issues actually, other like messaging people, and thought, man, I got to start the show. So I thought I'll just get coffee after the show, and then she just brought me up coffee, and so that's the real deal right there, folks. I'm living the dream. Pretty awesome. And this is my Discovery Princess mug. So many of you know that my family and I went to Alaska last year, and my wife and I have gone on a few cruises, and every cruise that I go on, I get a mug from that cruise. Well, Princess stopped making like mugs for cruise itineraries, because their itineraries are changing so much, and with COVID, like they were canceling things, whatever. So what they did was they created mugs that you could customize and order one, and then they'd print it for you on the ship, and then they'd have it for you like next day. So that's what we did. And so I ordered one that was unique to the ship that we went on. Now, Discovery was brand new, pretty much. She was like 4 or 5 months old, that ship, when we went on it. And so it says the inaugural season, and it has the Princess logo on the other side. And so every trip that I go on, so I've got 4 mugs. I've been on 4 cruises, and that's my thing. So we were on the last one when I got this mug, and I was telling my wife, I was like, oh, we gotta get a mug, and she said, that's kind of your thing. I don't really need another mug in the house. And I was like, okay, then I need to get another mug. Like that, I guess is my thing then. So I love it though. I love having that. So and it's a huge mug. It's probably a real like 10 ounce or 12 ounce mug for coffee. So opposed to the 6 or 8 ounce mugs that most mugs are these days. So, hey, do you know how I can check the sample rate on the NDI audio? I don't see a way in the quad interface. So the quad is just going to default to 48, I suspect. But in the quad, is there in the quad on the decode settings, I hope you're running the latest firmware, because on the decode settings there should be 2 tabs, or maybe not. Should be 2 tabs, one that says decode settings and one that says like decode what's it called? There should be a second tab, and on that it's going to read out what the bit rate is, or is supposed to be. But it might be telling you what the bit rate is on the decode, so what it is generating, not necessarily what the NDI stream is generating. You're going to want to verify that some other way from the Zoom output. So I'm not 100% sure if NDI Tools has something, ndi.tv/tools, but there's also a guy, Zen NDI Tools, and he's over in the UK. I think he's stopped updating these, but it's called like ndistuff.uk is the website. And so man, I need to put this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this in here because I reference this all the time. ndistuff.uk, and hit enter. And then this is the website. On here, I don't know if there's a way for us to see the actual bit rate, if it tells you what it is, but there's a whole bunch of tools in here. Yes, he has one. Yeah. Okay, so the program is NDI Router Switcher. Oh, cool. Here. I'll put this in the chat. Control C. Okay, here. What are you on? You're over on YouTube? Yeah, the connected tab. But again, I'm pretty sure that this is I think that's the quad telling you that it's operating in 48. Not that it's receiving a 48. I think that's what it is, but I don't know. So that may not necessarily help you. this website, the program that you're looking for is called NDI Zen NDI router / switcher. And on that website, if you scroll down, yeah, NDI Studio Monitor doesn't show sample rate. If you scroll down about halfway down the page, you're looking for section 10. Inside, oh, you know what? I can just share this one. Come on, John, get with it here. Let's share this tab instead. Okay, here on section 10. Okay, so we're gonna go to NDI Zen NDI router and remote panel. Section 10 shows this. Look, NDI sources found, and it will tell you what the bit rate is on the audio. And look at all these NDI sources; they're all 48. And that's what I mean by that's an NDI standard. That's not BirdDog exclusive. So yeah, and this little toolkit I think is free. So you shouldn't need to. Let's click on the. Oh boy, okay, that's a dead link. But you need to find this router and remote panel. So I'm going to go to downloads, ndi.uk. I'm sorry, ndistuff.uk, router and remote panels. And so let's just look here and see which one it is. He's got some cool tools. Yeah, right here. NDI router version 15240. I believe it's a Windows exclusive product though, so watch out. But here we go. Download that NDI router. And let's launch that. Extract all. Whoopsie. Extract all. I'm going to do this with you. See, now I don't have any NDI sources on here other than... No, actually, I don't have any NDI sources on here. Leave work at work, right? Okay, let's open the NDI app. And I'm going to open screen capture. Screen capture. I've got 3 screens, so that's fun. And then I'm going to, where's that program I just opened? Downloads, NDI router, NDI router. Are you sure you want to run this program? You downloaded this. All right, so let's present this screen. Give me 1 second, everybody. I wasn't planning on doing this today. So let me just customize this a bit so it's all good to go. All right, I'm going to stop the screen share and I'm going to present the entire screen, which is this one. All right, let's see if we can sort this out. So this is NDI router. We're going to pick an 8x8 just for fun. Why not? And we're going to create router. And that has created this little guy. Now in here, he said to show NDI source listings. And here it is. This is what we were talking about. So NDI remote, where is screen capture? Screen capture frame rate 5994. Audio sources, capture settings. Okay, so there should be NDI here. So let's open Studio Monitor and also see what's going on, because we should have some screen captures here. Knutson Office. Oh, check that out. Okay, so yes. So my screens are here. So let's search the public group. Nothing there. Zen NDI apps. We refresh this. Oh, don't exclude local. Hey! Bam, bam, bam. Okay, cool. So now, if we were to say, this is fun. Hey, thanks for doing this. Okay, so, oh my gosh, come on. Okay, if we were to say NDI screen capture and the audio source that I want to use is 3.4, and then I refresh this, look at that, 2 channels, 48 hertz. That's so stinking cool. Way to go. Another win for Mr. Zen apps. So yeah, check that out. That's cool. And then these sources are here. So all you gotta do is open this program and right click here and say show NDI source listings, and then we're good to go. So There you go. That's fun. And you can find out what the source is, if the audio is actually 48 hertz. And this may be another good way to test this, by the way, if it's Zoom or if it's the quad. You could generate a source on your computer with screen capture and tell it to let's just clean this up a bit. So let's just say you could put NDI tools on here, open screen capture, right click on the screen capture and say audio source and match it to anything that's generating audio. So you could say system audio and then like play music. Then it should show up like this on the list and tell you how many hertz it is. And then you can take that encode source and send it to the quad as long as it's 1080, 5994 or whatever it is you're trying to do. So make sure that the resolution is correct, 1080 by 5994 or 1080, 5994, and then send that to your quad and see if it decodes the audio correctly. And then that will tell us whether or not the quad is decoding correctly or if it is the, or incorrectly, I guess, one way or the other. Okay, pause this audio. Okay, cool. Let's go here. Pause that audio. Okay. Looks like we were able to. Somebody was commenting and I could handle it. Amazing. It's actually 48. Okay. So still a question that I have is it actually 48 out of Zoom? Because maybe they're upscaling it, you know, and it's not actually 48 hertz, but let's test it with another source. And if it's robotic on that one, what firmware are you running, by the way? I don't think you have in here 192. You put that in the ticket, didn't you? So let's save this. Just give me a quick second. I'll just jump back to your ticket. I said save. Oh, product name. Yoink. And save. Okay, cancel this. Crying out loud. Leave page. All right. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Good. Good. Save. Very good. Okay, so now 37371 robotic Zoom. Yes, you had said that you were running 197 LTS on quad. 97 on quad. Let me see if there is anything else listed. Actually, I can even, so this is why you come to the show. I can even look up the project and see if there's any mention of audio inside. Whoa. Interesting. Maybe something in a firmware release note that will fix this. Let's see. Quad LTS, quad README file for release notes. Audio interfaces supported. Now, is this the audio coming out of Zoom? Is this 2-channel audio, left, right? Because that's all that the unit will support. So 2-channel. Oh. I'm confused. Ooh, and this is really old. This isn't even new release notes. Oh, here we go. Whoops. Help if I read the right one. Oh, dear. Okay, so give me just a quick second. You said you're on 197. Merge, fleet. Okay, nothing in the release notes about audio. So let me go back to that drive. And verify. Okay, I got about 13 minutes, then I do have to sign off, guys, so just hang tight. Let me go converters, release notes for, and then I'm just gonna search. Whoops. Oh, this search function stinks. Let's download this, I guess. Give me one more second. I'm just going to look and see what we've got here because find what? Audio. Next. And jeez. Okay, and then these are on firmwares prior to yours. So interesting. All right, well, let me get this over to one of my agents who can test it. We'll need to be in the office to do that. So give us a little bit of a give us a little bit of time to sort that out. I will. I'll make him a note so that him and I can look at it tomorrow, and we'll try and sort that out because that seems like a pretty big deal. If my only if you want to try something is to generate audio on your computer through screen capture and make sure that it's 1080p 5994, turn an audio channel on, and then try and decode that on the quad and see what it sounds like, because that would be interesting. Also be sure that you're, well, let's start there. Go with that, because I think that would help out to kind of have more of that. It's like, and I tested this source and it's doing it there too. That's a lot more definitive than just trying one source, because we don't have a lot of people reporting this, and so there's a slight chance it's a faulty unit, but there's also a chance that it's the Zoom ISO output. And if that's the case, then we need to be able to test that as well. So if it works on a different device, if it works on a different source, but it doesn't work on Zoom ISO, then it's like, then we actually have guys that work pretty close with Zoom, so they may be able to help us find out what's going on. But that's probably the path forward, we'll say. All right, folks. Well, hey, thanks for coming along at a late show. Sorry that it's been such a mess, and I promise you that we'll do better next time, as long as Comcast can fix our internet. But in the meantime, if you haven't done so already, please go over and subscribe to birddogjohn.tv. That would be greatly appreciated. We do everything support on that channel, and the more subscribers, the more the more leeway I have to tell customers that's or to tell my employers that it's happening and that people are finding it useful. So always appreciate that. I'm trying to trying to create content on there. So if you find something on there that's helpful, hit a thumbs up. If you have a suggestion, leave me a comment. I do read those. I do try and integrate them into shows a fair bit if I can. And so, yeah, let me know if you like the stuff. Thumbs up always tells me, yep, this was good, more of this. Or if you have a comment that you want to, hey, it would be great if you did this or showed this or whatever, or here's how I do it. Type that out and let me know. I do read those. Most of the time I do comment on those comments just so that you get a response. But, we'll try and definitely do that. Hey, the other thing that I probably need to do here real quick, just before we finish, is to throw, where are we here? This guy. Let's put this back up real quick. And let's just see where you have all been hailing from over the past few minutes. I'll even do you one better and make that full screen. There we go. So, yeah, check it out, everybody. Look at where you're checking in from all over the world. That's always fun. We still have this big gaping hole over in Russia, but they're a little busy right now, so I understand, and we'll give them a pass on that for now. As well as Australia didn't check in today, which is rare, but the show is a lot later than it normally is, and so hopefully they're all tucked away in their beds and not needing to be on the show to burn the midnight oil, so to speak. So always a pleasure to have you guys on here. It's fun to do some live testing. I'm sorry I'm not in my office. I normally do the show in my office where I can actually do testing on NDI stuff live on the show. That is the point. So feel free to come back again. And if you see a big green light behind me and not a blue light, you know that I'm in the office. So that's how that goes. Hey, my pleasure, Landho Films. Always fun to have people on the show asking questions. So thanks for running the chat today. That was a lot of fun having you on. And trying to think of ways to answer your question. And hey, what I did notice is that this camera wobbles a lot. A lot. It's kind of like hard to watch. But anyway, I'll try not to like shake the table. It's a standing desk, so it's up high. And then this is on an arm, so that's up high. And then it all, works together to make you nauseous. So we will try and do that better next time. But thank you so much for checking in. The heat map's always fun. And next Tuesday is the plan to be back in the office where I can do a show at 11 to 12 Eastern time right here on birddogjohn.tv. That's normally where this all happens. So definitely join me over there if you can. birddogjohn.tv is the place to be. We definitely do 60 minutes of live support twice a week. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually from 11 to at least after 12. Depends on what my schedule looks like. But we try and talk through tickets. You're happy to submit a ticket, and then like we did today, let me know what ticket number it is and we can try and flesh it out. That is useful information, and you never know what other customers out there are having the same problem. And so it's helpful to have you send that around. Also, don't forget, if between now and Tuesday you have another question, hit us up at help@birddog.tv or over on birddog.tv/tickets or ticket, one or the other. I don't know. I never use that one, but that's our web form, and you can submit a ticket there. You can also tweet at us at what is that? That is here help@help_birddogtv, and all of that feeds into our ticketing system, and we can respond to you directly back to Twitter, or we can, if you send us an email or submit a ticket, we can respond back to that email as well, give you long form instructions and all that sort of good stuff. So there are multiple ways to reach out to us. Twitter, email is typically how we handle that. We have an internet outage today, and so I do want you to be conscious of that and not to get too frustrated if you are not getting immediate responses like you normally do, because two of our three ticketing agents, one of our three ticketing agents is either in transit or still at the office working on stuff. Two of my ticketing agents stayed home, and so they're picking up a lot of the ticket chatter. So hopefully you won't notice a big difference, but if things take a little bit longer the next couple days, please forgive us. We're trying to get Comcast to get out there and fix our internet. So take care of yourselves, everybody. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you and to chat. And I'm really sorry that today was so delayed, but we will do better next time as long as the internet holds out. Maybe I should get a backup internet service. Maybe this is a good validation for that. But we'll see. This is kind of my backup internet service, I guess. Come home and do the show, right? So the show must go on, and that's how that works. So it's always a pleasure, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, and we will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And we will see you on Tuesday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time As long as everything's working, we'll be there. All right. Be well. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Harry, you're alive! And you're a horrible shot. Harry, you're alive!